Good afternoon. Once again, this is Dr. Cortez. Welcome sa ating subject, Technology for Teaching and Learning. Topics for today. We are now in week number 4. Topic number 1, engaging learners with computers. Topic number 2, the ICT policy safety in teaching and learning. So once again, this is Dr. Cortez. I issue my here. Yeah, so let's start with the lesson for today. Maybe have a lengthy session. Maybe hindi naman abutin siguro ng 3 hours na. Okay, so ito yung ating mga objectives or learning outcomes for our learners. Select and introduce them to computer resources into instruction to promote student learning. We will discuss the benefits and limitations of using those digital technologies in the classroom. We're going to enumerate the national ICT policies affecting classroom practices. Describe the implementation of ICT policies in teaching and learning. So those are the outcomes na intended outcomes for mga learners natin, and the agenda, the topics for today. Week number 4. Again, so I will be responsible for the topics to be taken, and so let's start with this one, teacher and student centered strategies. Ito yung ginagawa natin ngayon, di ba? Compared kasi dati, nasa teacher naka-centered ang learning, pero ngayon nasa mga learners na natin, mga estudyante natin. Yan. Mga new generation of students, and in addition to this one, the advent of the use of computers, gadgets. So mas madali daw matuto. According to research, no? Mas madaling matuto ang mga students natin, learners natin, compared sa mga teachers. Ayan, so we should know yung mga tools na pwede nating gamitin, like computers, instructional technologies in education. Computers natin talagang it plays multiple roles in enhancing the learning, the teaching, enhancing curriculum, ranging from tutor to student, creativity, resource. The teachers can use the computers as an aid to collect, assess, present the students, assessing the performance, and managing classroom activities. So on the other hand, the students can also utilize the computers then. Siyempre, di ba? Vice versa yan eh. Teaching and learning. Sa learning naman, very pronounced yung gamit ng computers or other digital gadgets or tools in presentation, reporting, researching, taking quizzes, collaboration, demonstration, creating projects. Yan, so marami silang gamit. So we should know those limitations naman, no? Mga gamit ng computers and the safety na gamit ng mga gadgets sa mga students. Kasi we know the mantra that anything that is excessive or in excess is not always good. Sometimes harmful to the students and sa mga teachers na rin. Yung ating background for for the lesson today. Let's move on. Presentation. Using computers in the classroom. Gamit. Tingnan natin as teachers, as learners, as students, easy daw gamit ng mga computers sa classroom. Mga board exam questions yun, yung mga ini-embed ko dito mga tanong, mga possible questions sa board exam. So we are simulating mga questions. Number 1, computer is an electronic device. We already know this one. Basic naman to, di ba? A device that can execute instructions or commands to accept data and process them to produce and store useful. Ang takeaways lang natin dito, yung sa ating definition, garbage in, garbage out, di ba? Ang computer, illimited din. Yung sa ating instructions, yun ang gagawin ng computer. So, kung mali instructions natin, mali din yung output. Parang AI din yan no? Kung mali pagtanong mo sa AI, mali din bibigay sa yung result. So, meron pa rin roles sa mga human factor in using computers sa educational setting, academic setting. Number 2, computer literacy. Ito yung mga elements elements when we are using computers in the classroom. Computer literacy can be explained as the ability to use computers and technology efficiently. It has also been described as skills in applying computer software to achieve desired outcome. So mga learners natin, para sila mga digital native na. Parang natural na sa kanila yung pagiging computer literate. Samantalang sa mga adults like the older generation, Generation X, Generation Y, dapat pa natin pag-aralan yung parang magta-training pa tayo. At least sa mga medyo adult na pagta-training pa sila to be computer literate, so medyo it will take them like weeks, sometimes depende sa programs na pinag-aralan, months. Samantalang sa mga learners natin, ang bilis nilang ma-embrace yung mga magiging computer literate. Minsan nagpapaturo pa tayo sa atin at tayo sa kanila when it comes to computer. So dapat daw may computer, at the same time dapat computer literate yung learners, tapos yung mga educators or teachers natin. And the third one, computer-based instruction. It is not enough na computer literate din tayo, kasi computer literate tayo sa ibang aspect, like maybe we are literate in using computer programs, MS Word, Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, pag-open, pag-browse, pag-close ng computer, Pero meron pa tayong dapat na pag-aralang once in a while, yung constant na changes in application. Ito yung number 3, computer-based instruction in education refers to using computers as a central part of the educational experience. Teachers use educational websites and software to enhance daily classroom curriculum. Dati, software lang ginagamit natin. Abutan ka pa yung time na wala pang internet. So mga application namin dati, nasa diskette. Example, if we're going to enter Excel, gamit, hindi pa Excel Lotus 123. Di pa lang kung nabutan yung Lotus 123. WordStar. Before, mag-enter pa kami ng diskette sa computer to open a particular instruction or application. Ngayon, nasa internet na siya. Okay? So, we should know those application na ginagamit yan. Excel, Words, PowerPoint, and also yung mga websites na dapat nating usan. Example, Kahoot, diba? Mga Quizlet, Padlet na ginagamit natin sa mga learners natin to be more interactive Kasi sabi ko last time, dapat interactive, may participation mga students natin para hindi masyadong routine or boring ang ating mga klase. And number 4, computer system, a collective reference to all interconnected computing hardwares including processor, storage devices. Mga hardware naman ang ating ginagamit. So ito yung mga elements na ginagamit natin for us to conduct learnings inside the classroom using computer or working around computers. Okay, so let's move on. Ito naman ang advantages of the computer in teaching and learning. Very pronounced ang advantages. Talagang hindi natin matatawanan. Very defined yung roles ng computers in teaching and learning. Nung estudyante ako, hindi ko masyadong experience yung using computers in learning. At least during my tertiary education. Pero nasa grad school na, nagagamit na rin natin yung yung computers in coding, researching. Pero ngayon, guys, no, mas magagamit natin ang computers because we are now the educators. We are now the teachers. At mga advantages sa atin at sa mga learners natin in using computers. Number 1, positive climate for learning, especially for slow learners. Ano nakaraan may estudyante akong ganadong mag-recite kasi mayroong PowerPoint. Ngayon, pag ginagamit na ng mga computers daw, mga slow learners, no? Talagang may mga learners na visual Pag may nakita silang colorful, instead of textual, dinadaan sa story, dinadaan sa mga images. Mas positive yung dating sa mga estudyante. Yung bang they are not facing their teachers. May mga estudyante kasi na-intimidate ng mga teachers, no? Pero pag nagkaroon computers, hindi yung teachers, nag-assist lang yung teachers, positive sa kanila. No? Yung ganun, hindi masyadong na-intimidate pag facing computers. And number 2, second advantage, students control how and when the computer provides them with the information they need. May mga slow learners na mga estudyante. Pag isang teacher pinagsabay-sabay sa isang klase, yung lahat ng klase ng estudyante, hindi naman pwedeng paghiwa-hiwalayin, di ba? Example, 40 students. Meron dyan fast learners, merong kataptaman lang. Meron mga slow learners naman sa kanila. Pag teacher siya nagpa-facilitate, so sabay-sabay, may hindi nagkakasunod. Example, sa mathematics, sa English lessons na. Pero pag computers ang harap na example, online setting, naka-record, di ba? They can always go back. So, you can always browse. You can always scroll up or scroll down. Yung tinuturo ng teacher can always go back sa PowerPoint. Pag teacher na sasalita, nako, mayayain estudyante hindi naintindihan. Kaya siya paulit yung sinasabi ng teachers. No? Okay, third advantage, the color, music, and animated graphics and realism and appeal to drill exercises. So, kahit ang subject natin yung mathematics, pag yung teachers ay creative, mga estudyante hindi na-intimidate ng numbers. Kasi pag puro numbers, pag puro flashcards, pinapakita, na-intimidate mga estudyante. Pero pag computers yan, you can create your drills creatively. Samahan mo lang yung images, may colors, may music. Hindi nakafocus sa numbers yung mga estudyante, kundi yung mga creative ba na naka-attach sa exercise or drills. Right? May kwento, may story, di ba? Pag sa board kasi, nagsulat ka, math problems for example, counting problems for example. Parang intimidating, no? Pero pag may graphics, may situation, may kwento, may video, pinapakita sa computers, mas positive yung dating. Mas enhance yung learning, sila ay mas interactive. Mas ginaganahan yung mga learners daw. Okay, number 4, advantage. Progress in learning is easily monitored with the records-keeping ability of computers. Example, sa MS Team. Don't need to make a roll call. Download na lang natin yung attendance. You can monitor right away kung sino present by just downloading. Kung sa MS Team naman, diba, nagpasubmit ng activity, nakikita ko yung sino hindi nag-submit. Nakikita natin yung nagsisin lang. Nakikita natin nag-turn in. Nakikita natin kailan sila nag-turn in. Nakikita natin kung late o hindi. Yung kailan turning in. So you can monitor the progress ng mga dati. Nakikita mo yung present, di ba? Sa attendance ng MS Team, kita natin yung present. Sino yung umalis, sino yung nag-left, sino yung bumalik. Ilang oras sila nag-stay sa meeting. Ilang minutes, di ba? And number 5 advantage. Computer resources allow students to manage the rate and sequence of their learning, giving them more control over outcomes. Ayan, itong ginagawa natin, naka-record to, di ba? So I always get the consent of the students to be recorded. Kasi pwedeng balikan. So ikaw yung professor, ikaw yung prof. Never mind the speed of your discussion. Huwag mong bagalan. Okay? Kasi nga, yung mga learners natin, they can pause, they can slow down yung video na naka-record. Pakayaan mo yung never mind the editing. Huwag masyado mag-edit kasi may mga learners tayo mas gusto nila yung they prefer the natural voice of the teachers. Never mind na mag-edit. Huwag masyadong i-edit yung mga video natin. Hayaan mo yung raw data. Raw video mas na-appreciate ng mga estudyante yan eh. Yung mga ganun, they can pause, they can slow down yung video. They can always go back pag may hindi naintindihan. Now, so, pag may advantages, using computers, meron din mga disadvantages. The computer in teaching, both in teaching and learning. Number 1, computerized instruction is relatively expensive. The cost and benefits must be assessed to ensure optimal gains. From private school, medyo well-off yung mga estudyante, so they have the means to buy their own computer or laptops. Pero mga government schools, public, may isang university, they provide laptops sa mga estudyante namin. They provide Wi-Fi. They provide packet Wi-Fi and laptop sa mga estudyante. Kasi hindi kaya. Kasi mahal. Kasi it's costly. Ang cellphone kasi, limited. Second one, high quality direct instruction materials not readily available and may require compatibility due to exclusiveness of some educational programs or software. Example, yung ginagamit ako dati sa mga senior high school is AP. SAP for computer, for accounting high school students, basic accounting 101, ginagamit namin is AP. And that is very costly. Ibig sabihin, if one students want to know yung process of accounting using a software, hindi pa laging meron. Although meron sang laptop, pero ibang usapan yung naka-install ng software about accounting sa kanyang laptop. Hindi masyadong mahal yan, di ba? So, gagamit ka ng ibang program, siguro manual using Excel in discussing basic accounting sa mga senior high school students. So, limited yung discussion. Number 3, instruction may decrease, computer made more easily available in the workplace. So, another reason, another disadvantage, although mayroon ka ng software na ginagamit, example, nakabili ka ng software, no? Yan ang after 2 years, nagbabago naman yung version niya. Pero naman namang bagong version. So, every now and then, you are updating yung ginagamit yung software sa inyong school. Constant updating. Number 4, copyright issue is a vital concern with which software and other digital information can be duplicated without permission. Ayan. So, that is another issue, no? Example, I can recall sa isang school ko, gumamit kami ng software na hindi authorized, hindi siya licensed. Naka-install sa mga computers. So, bawal. So, copyrighted. Kasi, copyright is intellectual property. Example, software, if you have authored a software, so you have the copyrights. Or pag may gumamit, tapos ng isang school na walang license, so there is a violation of IP, intellectual property. Yan. So, hindi porke may ginagamit kang software ay forever mo siya pwedeng gamitin. Kasi you renew the license for the software. Okay, number 1, users, both learners and teachers, may have high unrealistic expectation for computers. Many view computers as magical and expert learning to happen at an instant, making little or no effort at all anymore. Ibang tingin ng mga sa atin, yung computer is very powerful. Kaya niyang gawin lahat. That the computer can stand alone in teaching something to the learners. Hindi pala ganoon. Kasi computers, they still need instructions, facilitations from the teachers. Kaya nga, ang computer tools lang ng mga teachers. Hindi sa magtuturo sa mga students kasi meron pa rin siyang mga limitations. Hindi siya magical that you can transform a student overnight. Meron pa rin intervention dapat ng isang educator. Number 6, disadvantage, more advanced and complex programs may be difficult to use, especially for student production. They require ability to use, perform. Yung ginagamit, example yung Oracle ginagamit isang university ko. Kaya hindi ko pa kabisado lahat ng Oracle features ng Oracle kasi hindi naman tayo IT, hindi naman lahat ay IT people, hindi naman lahat ay magaling sa IT. Basic lang siguro. Yung mga medyo complex programs or features ng isang program, hindi natin masyadong pupuntahan. Example, no? Yung Kahoot nga lang, no? Yung Kahoot na ginagamit, Kahoot is a program na pwede nyo gamitin na pang quiz bee sa mga estudyante. Marami siyang features, pero ako ginagamit ko yung basic lang superficial lang siya. Although meron sa mas malalim pang gamit, pero iba kasi complex na, no? Maybe you don't have time to learn more of the features of those programs. And the last disadvantage, students whose learning style requires more structured guidance may become frustrated. Students may also make poor decisions about how much info to explore. Yung sinasabi natin kanina pa, may mga slow learners kasi. So, we should still guide them. Okay, so let's move on. Ito naman ay yung teacher-centered strategies. Saan kailan natin ginagamit ang computers? Presentation, demonstration, drills. Ito ginagamit yung drills. Example, I will show a picture sa projector or sa screen. Yung magtatawag ka ng estudyante to say something about a photo or about a word or about a situation. or about an image. Ginagamit yan sa mga pageant. One time, I saw a beauty pageant na ang ginamit, they flash a photo or video and they should react. Tutorials na ginagamit, no? One time ginagamit ko yung computer teaching Excel sa mga students, no? So they have their laptop then using computers. And student-centered strategies, so ang ginagamit for discussion, cooperative learning, kasi ito example itong MS Team. MS Team can be used in collaboration. Collaboration software ang platform ang MS Team. You can collaborate. With other people who are miles away from you. You can add, you can write, you can add some example, you're making a research. Kasi group mates mo malayo, so no need to do overnight. By using MS Team, you can do this one. Games. Mga students kaya pag nagre-reporting, before start of the report, nagpa-plus muna sila ng mga games on screen para sa icebreaker na ginagamit. So ito yung mga gamit ng computer simulation, discovery, learning, kasi they can browse the internet, they can research while searching, they are also learning and also problem solving. Ang discovery learning, guys, ito yung mga students natin hindi mga passive. Kundi mga students should be active. For doing discovery learning, this one is student-centered strategies. Mga estudyante natin, they learn through exploration. Hindi yung pinifeed natin sa kanila yung knowledge, no? They explore, example, science, be discovered through example, research, experiment, problem solving. Yan. Yung mga hands-on experience, sila mismo yung mag-explore hands-on. Ito yung you should learn by learning. So, ang sinasabi ko sa estudyante palagi read, and read. Tapos sa mga vocabulary habang nagbabasa ka ng isang novel, you can discover new words. Ganun ginagawa ko. Kasi mahilig din ako magbasa. No? Pag may nakita akong words dati, Google ka agad, ano ibig sabihin yan. And also may student tayong mga problem solving. Yan. Problem solving is also student-centered din. No? Problem solving, learner-centered, focus on the students actively engaging with the learning process rather than passively. Yung collaboration and you are trying to solve problem, active. You are not just accepting something as is, no? Solve mo yung, if you have different ways of solving a problem. Mathematics. Sometimes you don't rely on the formula. May mga taong tamad din, no? Sabi mga iba. Maganda yung mga taong tamad kasi they want to discover a shortcut in solving a problem. Napapadali, no, yung isa. And you can also solve problems kasi hindi lang sa mathematics but example in accounting subjects, no? Solving problems based from real world situations. Ina-apply mo yung experience mo and you solve example transactions para maganda yung mga problems na real world situations so that students can relate. It will be more relatable and applicable. Mas maganda yung na-apply yung result ng problem solving, di ba? They can relate. So you ask them what are those current problems na pwedeng mangyari sa isang family, sa isang business, o isang. Right, so let's move on. Computer aided instruction. So we make this one as a shortcut, no? The CAI. Computer aided instructions. Use of computers and software applications to teach concepts or skills the computer serves as an easy-to-use device. Reinforce classroom instruction. Sure ng mga learners natin ngayon, di ba? May mga dating gamit natin. Tablets ang ginagamit nila. So parang luging-lugi tayo. Anyway. Ang unang gamit ng mga instructions na ginagamitan ng computers, the drill and practices exercises designed to increase fluency in a new skill or body of knowledge or to refresh an existing skill or body of knowledge. Ang drills, hindi lang samat ginagamit ang drills na yung mga magtatawag ng estudyante tapos ang class card. Ginagamit ko rin sa college, ginagamit din natin yung drills and practices. Tatawag sa dyan, example, then recite this one, recite the preamble. Recite the preamble of the Constitution, recite the rules of debit and credit. Yeah. In drills and practices, the first aspect, good programs provide user control, give feedback and reinforcement, and help learners master skills. Important guys, kahit sa online setting, pag nag-submit ng mga activity yan, you give feedback sa kanila. At meron kang mga signages. Nasaan na ba ang learning ng isang estudyante? By giving feedback, you can control yung learning ng isang estudyante. Good for basic skills. Ang drills is good for basic skills knowledge for rapid student response is desired. Example, mathematics. Yan. 1 plus 1. Divide by 5. Yan. Plus, mabilisan. Mabilisan. Kasi pag drills, hindi lang yung cognitive yung tinitrain, pati muscles. No? Pati muscles estudyante. Tinitrain natin pag tayo nagpapadrill. Yung kanyang response. Yung bilis ng kanyang pag-respond sa isang question siya ginagamit sa basic like math, reading, tapos writing din. Next one, usually drills and practice are usually best used in a series of brief sessions. So series, pag drill, ibig sabihin, pag nagpa-drill ka, inuulit-ulit mo siya hanggang matuto. Kaya nga series na example. Ito una, pinag-rest mo siya ng multiplication table of 5. Sunod, multiplication table of 6. Multiplication table of 7. Araw-araw doon sila hanggang masana. I can recall one of my teachers in grade school. I think grade 2. Pinapagawa sa amin, araw mag-umagumisa yung math subject, there should be somebody reciting the multiplication table. Yan. So, sunod-sunod. Tapos sabi nung teacher namin, you can sing the multiplication table. You can recite the multiplication table in a 4 by point. Yun na sa university na ako, pinapag-recite ng preamble yung mga estudyante ko. Sabi ng isa, sir, pwede bang i-rap yung preamble? Sige, rapping. Sige, rapper pala siya. Yun, so, kung mga classmates siya, kung in a form of your rapping yung kanyang pag-recite ng preamble. Okay, now next one, mainly intended for use by individuals. Ito ay, pag sinabi nating drill, individual ang ating pagtawag. Sama multiplication table, di ba? Hindi naman siya pwedeng by group. So, ano talaga yan? Individually, o reciting something. Pinapag-rest mo sa English, or pinapa-enumerate mo ang something sa science, sa individual. It's better to do this one individually. Next one should be geared to a level appropriate for the students. So, tingnan mo rin yung level ng mga learning sa mga estudyante mo. Hindi ka agad division. Pinapag-recite natin sa kanila. 1 plus 1 muna. Depending on the level of intelligence sa estudyante natin. Okay, so naman, let's go. Tutorial. The first computer-aided instruction, tingnan natin, no? Is drills. Ito naman, next one is tutorials. Tutorial is another computer-aided instruction. Computer assumes the role of a tutor, introducing content, providing practice, and assessing learning. So, kailan ginagamit ang tutorial? Introduction of content. Using computers. Introduction of content. Yan ay ginagamit natin. Tutorial, computer assumes the role of a tutor. First one, anong gamit ang tutorial sa atin? The computer introduces the content. Computer can be used remediation when learners lack necessary background knowledge. Okay, the computer itself, mag-browse lang siya sa I browse this website. Good for verbal and conceptual learning. Tutorial using computers. Kumbaga, computer, ginawa natin sa assistant in giving tutorial sa ating mga estudyante. Example, verbal. Verbal naman pag meron kang recordings, di ba? You can listen to recordings. You can listen to your website. May mga application na the learners can imitate. Example, yung pronunciation na kanyang narinig. Tutorial may require a significant investment of students' time. So medyo matagal nga ito kasi. Example sa English, no? Pronunciation ang pinag-aaralan. So it will take time before they can perfect yung pronunciation. Can be effectively used by individuals or groups of 2 to 3 students. So maganda minsan cooperative learning. They are browsing, reading a story, or conversational English. Kasi pag conversational English, dapat may kausap. Pag dalawang estudyante, parang may headset, tapos nag-uusap sila, imitating yung pronunciation or yung nakalagay sa screen, nakanilang sinusundan, yung mga phrases na kanilang sinusundan, at yung kanilang may speak yung nakalagay sa screen, conversational lang. Should be allowed by opportunities for student application of knowledge. So ito yung mga gamit ng tutorial as computer-aided instruction sa ating mga students. Okay, so next natin, simulation provides a controlled learning environment that replicates key elements of real-world experience. So, paganda rin minsan yung may simulation. The beauty of simulation, para sa real-world experience, pero control. Tapos sa kanyang effect, maganda that it is better that the students, the learners will experience something para pag nagkamali sila. At hindi siya nangyari sa real-world situation. Kumbaga, naranasan na nila na magkamali. So pag actual na, hindi na siya ulitin. Yan ang beauty ng mga simulation. Sa accounting, ginagamit ka mga simulation, mga real world documents, real world transactions, paano pag-record ng mga transactions. That if I can recall I was teaching first aid sa mga high school students, yung paggawa ng CPR, yan. Actual sila nag-CPR sa isang dummy. So you check, you correct them para pag real situation, di na ulitin. Provides opportunity for students to apply knowledge in realistic Rito naman, without time, expense, or risk, wala masyadong risk to kasi nga, yung risk na inaalisa natin no? Kasi bakit mo mangyayari sa isang actual situation yung ginagawa ng isang estudyante. Since sa simulation guys, you should recall in simulation the students will interact with the simulated environment to apply learned skills na meron sa mga dating skills and knowledge and they are now applying those knowledge sa isang realistic setting. Hindi real situation but realistic setting. Ang ganda dito, it allows the student to experience situation and practice skills in a low-risk environment. Hindi masyadong risk ito kasi nga hindi naman sa real, kundi realistic situation lang. That is the one beauty of simulation. Simulation can mimic physical objects or phenomena, process, procedures, and situation. Hindi lang object ang pwede simulate. Procedures, sample. Nagtuturo ka ng first aid, no? Saan ba to? Sa physical education. Turo ka ng first aid, then kunwari may na drowning victim. Okay? Swimming pool, hindi naman sa dagat ito. Swimming pool, simulation. Yan. So mga natutunan sa lecture in how to rescue a victim. Pwede mo siyang, gawin. Or i-can recall sa ating sa Boy Scouting namin dati. Tinuruan kami mag-build ng fire out of bamboo through bamboo sticks. Yan. Hindi namin alam paano ginagawa. Then time comes na yung teacher nagdala ng bamboo, then isa kami nagpaningas ng apo using bamboo. Parang I can recall, hindi ko na paningas yung bamboo, no? Pero actual situation na isang camping, nagtaka ako napaningas ko yung bamboo. Siguro because of pressure, no? Pag actual situation na talaga. Best use for application of knowledge, problem solving, and thinking skills. Yan. So, ito guys is theoretical muna. Theoretical. Okay? Para mga natin student, no? Sa accounting students sila, high school students, basic one, accounting 101. Yung tinuturo ko yung pag-record ng mga transactions. Then, tapos ang next step doon is mag-actual na sila. Simulation using a program, using SAP program. Na kunwari, meron silang supplier talagang bibilhan, meron silang customer talagang bibili, meron silang mga warehouse. Ang target doon, as much possible, yung net income mataas, no? As much possible, yung inventory hindi masasayang. Yan, using computers. Next one, time involvement may be brief or extended depending on the simulation. May mga courses, may mga topics na matagal. Example, pag recording transaction, matagal yan. Parang inabot ng 2 oras in recording, simulating a business transactions. Yan namang mabilis. Yung pagbigay ng mouth-to-mouth, no? Bigay ng mouth-to-mouth sa mga students. Mouth-to-mouth respiration. Ano lang yan? Minutes lang. Yan. Simulation, good for small groups of students, although can be used by individual. 4 to 5 members. Ideal. Often requires guidance and follow-up for effective use. After the simulation, you huddle them up, then tell them anong nangyari, what have been forgotten, what could have been done, ano yung hindi pwedeng dapat ginawa. Yan. Parang pep talk pagkatapos isang event. Next one, instructional games. Ito yung gustong-gusto mga estudyante. Usually another type of CAI, computer aided instructions. Modified to include gaming elements. So ito ginagawa natin, no? Para hindi monotonous yung ating klase. Ito ginagawa ko to, no? Sa bawat klase ko. I start with, pag ako yung nag-lecture, I start with example exercise. I start with icebreaker. Merong awards. Merong isang prize. Nagpapaprize ako. Pag yung mga student ko naman ang gumagawa, pag sila nagre-report, so parang ginaya nila aking style lang nagpapagames muna before something, no? Tuwang-tuwa sila sa ganun sa umpisa ng klase, hindi yung puro pangit naman kasi dino-dominate mo yung discussion. So, dapat meron kang pampasigla, tumba, or mind games, or actual short physical games, no? Pag may space pag may space pwede siyang gawin. Sa mga sample ng mga games, pwede siyang hybrid games, review games. Example, before you starting a lesson, i-review niyo muna yung nakaraang lesson. O pwede mga role-playing games, no? Mga depende sa subject ka. Example, pag marketing yung subject mo, example, how do you dramatize a angry customer? Ang lesson was, the last time was how to handle an angry customer. Then you review by assigning person to be the angry customer and assigning person to be the tenant or the seller. Role-playing games, no? Tawag natin siya. So useful for going over what we have already learned. Para madaling tandaan, sabi natin, di ba? Mas natatandaan mo pag ginagawa kaysa binabasa lang. Sabi ni Edgar Dale, yung theory ni Edgar Dale. So saan pwedeng gawin ng games? Pwede sa mathematics, history, science. Sample sa history. Ang lesson last time was the discovery of the Philippines. So kunwari mayroong Magellan. Kunwari mayroong isang Lapu-Lapu. And games din sa science, pwede rin yan, no? Sa math yan. So maraming, basta be creative, lahat ng subject pwedeng gamitan ng games. Games can substitute for worksheet and exercise. Hindi palaging worksheet ang paggawa mo. Okay? Parang hindi monotonous. And don't forget, meron kang reward. Sometimes, pwede siyang single, individual game, pwede siyang group, para meron pa rin collaboration sa ginagawa mo. Games. So, motivation, competition, challenge, fantasy. He came with challenges and rewards, helping students. And one time, nagpalaro ako ng NSTP subject. Nagpalaro ako scavenger. Yan. Meron silang hahanapin. That was very challenging. Siyempre, may reward. Ang reward, guys, hindi palaging grade. Sometimes, if you have the resources, o magdala ka ng prizes, chocolates, kaya plus points. Pag may pera, hindi mo tigbibenta yung mga participants na, mga members. Ayan. Okay. Pero depende pag mayayaman, pag private school yan, mayayaman ng estudyante. Huwag ka na magpa-reward ng ng pera, no? Pero yung mga government school, public schools na hindi naman sila masyadong well off, yung problem nila yung pamasahe, problem na yung ang load, and monetary, financial reward. Games, usually they are aimed at younger learners such as those in the elementary grades. Ayan. So, alam natin di ba sa Japan, you have read this one in Japan, di ba? Sa Japan, pag batang-bata or mga elementary pa lang, they are not bombarded with assignments, writings. Hindi, yung basic lang tinuturo sa kanila Example, household chores, playing, so that they can enjoy yung childhood. Hindi yung grade 1 pa lang, tinatagtad ng assignment, Hindi nag-enjoy yung mga bata. So, games are usually intended for younger learning. Pero ginagawa pa rin natin ba sa Pero siyempre, nag-level up ka pag mga estudyante high schoolers. If the students are tertiary level students. So, nile-level up natin yung yung klase ng games na pinapalaro natin sa kanila. Ang problem solving. Problem solving is de-explore. Does not fit into one of the other categories. Siya yung metacognition, critical thinking sa isang problem solving skills. Yung gamit. Usually focuses on a specific type of problem solving and provides practice on a number of variety or problems. Hindi palagi mathematical Hindi palagi mathematical problems ang natin hindi pinag-usapan kasi brainstorming maganda itong gamitin sa a group of 4 to 5 person para merong brainstorming. Yung metacognition, critical thinking ba ng mga estudyante, hindi lang sa superficial. You go deeper on the problems, the root cause of the problems. Yung why, yung 5 whys, yung tatanong ka, why? Kasi ganito, bakit? Kasi ganito, kasi bakit nga? Hanggang umabot ka dun sa pinaka-root cause ng problem. Yan. Number 2, problem-solving application sometimes focus on specific topic areas, mathematics, science. Sometimes they are designed to promote general problem-solving abilities, pattern recognition, prediction, mga abstract, mga basta Montessori style, hindi palaging problems May mga games na isa nagpapagames ka, pinapagames sa estudyante mo how to solve a particular problem na hindi siya textual, hindi siya numbers. May situation, ginagawa ko rin minsan bibigyan mo sila ng sinulid. Tapos sinulid ka karampol mo. Tapos ang challenge sa kanila, paano mo i-untangle yung threads, yung sinulid. Yan. Kung sino una maka-solve ng problem. So minsan naman binibigyan ko sila ng mga I give them 1 box of popsicles. Yung stick ng popsicles ng ice cream. Tapos sabi ko sa kanila, sige, gumawa kayo ng structure na matibay. So brainstorming dapat structure niya hindi sa masisira. Pag nilagyan ko ng cellphone ko yan, hindi dapat sa masisira. So brainstorming sila, paano mo papatibay yung structure? Or pwede namang itong larong to. Maze. Yung maze yan kung pasikot-sikot, how do they exit a maze? Paano sila makakalabas sa maze? Collaboration din yan. Mga problem. There is pattern recognition. Learners should be active rather than passive. Sa problem solving, hindi ka lang nakaupo na nag-aantay ka ng info or skills ibibigay sa'yo. Kasi nga ang problem solving is passive. You explore sa possibilities. You explore on solutions. Pag nakaupo ka lang dyan, so nag-aantay ka lang. So you cannot solve problems. At the same time, hindi ka pa team player. Sabi natin ang problem solving, that is a collaboration. Ang 4 to 5 persons. Advantages of computer-assisted, computer-aided instructions. Interactive siya. Interactive kasi nga, di ba, computers. Tapos, right away, mayroon sa immediate feedback. At feedback ka lang binibigay agad sa mga learners. Example, dito sa MS Team, you can give feedback. Kahit sa Google Classroom. Pag nag-check an activity, you can always grade the activity, then return to them. Advantage, motivates learners and can adjust the difficulty. Pwede mo siyang, example sa English, Pag meron kang drill simulation sa English, sample pronunciation, you can lower the difficulty. Example, sa vocabulary, sa mga vocabulary, nagpapaquiz ka. Synonyms, pinapasok ng synonyms sa sa computer ng students. We know that may mga synonyms or vocabulary medyo higher level, meron ding basic. So you can adjust based on the intelligence ng mga learners. And present concept or process dynamically and using multiple forms or representation. Gumamit ng PowerPoint eh. You can present that in a spreadsheet. You can present that in PowerPoint. Present that in MS Word. Can maintain records of student performance. So, discuss natin kanina, example, MS Team can store the performance, the submission, the activities, the assignments. Kaya sa Google Classroom eh, pag nag-submit sila, can grade them right away, nakastore sa Google Classroom or nakastore sa MS Team. Advantage, frees the instructor to do other things. So, the instructor, the professors, the teachers can now do multitasking. So, English teacher, nagpapaquiz sa laptop, vocabulary. While the students are doing the vocabulary test, the teacher now can do other things like recordings of grades or doing some lessons. It generally requires less time than traditional methods. Maganda itong checking, kasi I'm using this one. Dati kasi pag exam ka ng multiple choice, you do that, you check the papers manually. Ngayon, multiple choice, you can use a program. Ito yung ginagamit kong program na I will print the program, tapos ng mga estudyante, then pag checking na, i-scan ko na lang yung i-scan ko na lang yung paper nila. Automatically, the program itself will do the checking, the scores, and the percentage. So, minutes lang Mantalo natin, pag nag-check ka ng papel abutin ng 2 araw, just checking. Pero ngayon, minutes lang Minutes of scanning. Advantage, provides consistency in presentation. Pag yung teachers nagtuturo, bandang alas 5 na ng hapon, pagod na. So, hindi na masyadong quality yung kanyang pagtuturo, kanyang discussion. Pag siyang nag-discuss, pag siyang nag-verbal discussion. Pag PowerPoint yan, you are presenting, di ba? So, consistent yung quality ng presentation, hindi na papagod. Advantage, infinitely patient, hindi nagagalit. Pag teacher yung nagtuturo niyan, di ba? Tapos may slow learner. So, ako lang naman yung teacher, minsan nagagalit, or naging impatient. Yan. Nakailang beses na ng ulit, hindi pa rin makuha ng student, so naging impatient yung teacher. Samantalang pag they are just repeating, browsing the recordings are patient. Right? So, mga advantages of CAI. The mga limitations after the advantages of CAI, computer-aided instructions. Kaya ito naman yung mga limitations. Equipment and software can be costly. Therefore, we need computers, we need software to be installed, we need programs. Not at all learning outcomes are well addressed by CBI. CBI is competency-based instructions. Pwede sa competency, example, competency learner should know how to write. Baka walang software na ginagamit, magtuturo sa mga students how to write. For example, outcome is to apply conversational English in everyday setting. Outcome. So pwede kasi may mga software naman na ginagamit that you can install English programs, conversational English programs. Overly simplified applications may not make good use of the computer. Iba-ibang application ang ginagamit natin. May mga applications na pwede namang gawin without using a computer. Pwedeng gawin lang. Spelling, for example, di ba? Pwedeng whiteboard lang Mga simple applications na pwedeng hindi gamitan. Pag computer pa kasi, baka masyadong complicated, simple spelling. Pwedeng gamitin sa whiteboard lang. Not all subjects or fields can be assisted or supported by computers. Mayroon bang subject? We can use computers in science, English, siguro Filipino Filipino, hindi ako masyadong familiar anong naggamit because I'm not a Filipino major naman. Yung gamit man ng computer using in Filipino language instruction, paano siya ginagamit. I'm not familiar with the applications sa Filipino kasi. But it can be a subject that cannot be supported. It might have limited modalities unless developed by experts and with the use of multimedia. Heavily on computer software, internet access, technical issues like software glitches. Hindi gumagana yung software. Walang lisensya siguro or kulang yung features ng software. Baka basic lang ang ginamit. Yung mga premium features ng software wala doon kasi hindi subscribe. Power outages. Brownouts, although isolated naman yung brownouts, hindi man lang nangyayari. Pero pag natsambahan na you are discussing something, tapos very lively, they discuss very lively and suddenly brownout hits the area. So stop ng lesson, kalagitnaan ng lesson, then you'll be using whiteboard but you're not prepared to use the whiteboard kasi lahat nasa computers. Example, hardware failures can disrupt learning. Pag uminit yung hardware walang fan, for example, or yung cord, yung power cord biglang sa-shutdown. Ang problem sa power cord. It can also reduce the amount of interaction between students and teachers. It can be kasi the students are focused on the computers and the program on screen, and they ignore the professor, the teachers, the educators in the classroom. Wala na masyado interaction. Sa classroom, important yung cognitive presence, important yung social presence, important emotional presence na binibigay ng teachers sa mga estudyante. Tatlo yan cognitive presence, social presence, emotional presence.
So yun guys yung ating lesson for week 5, lesson number 5, student and teacher-centered strategies. Yung ating mga limitations of computer-aided instructions sa ating mga klase. And I would like to present the credit ginamit ko mga references, websites, ebooks and books. Okay? And with that, we're going to end week 5 lesson. And just win Dr. Cortez, Doc Rich. And before you go, pwede mo mag-request and to subscribe sa aking channel. And see you again guys sa ating synchronous lesson next week for week number 6. Bye everyone.